Welcome back to Dialogue 340. This is your guy, Darren Beard Georges, and we have a variety of people. So I want them to take their time to introduce themselves and their social media handles. So we start over with the gentleman in the end here.
I am partner with the shirts. My social media handle is DPMNM. Huh?
Yep. Again, and it's Jeff, one half of the Same Difference podcast. Social media handle is Same Difference or at Same Difference 2022 on IG.
My name is Irene Ali, and my social media handle is official Irene Ali.
All right. So today our conversation we're going to talk about social media influence, right? So as we all are basically millennials or just above that, we saw the age of the internet and then the boom of social media. So we want to talk about the things that are influential, right? And I think everybody here in their own right is very influential. So we want to ask some top. We want to have a good discussion and ask some questions about it, right? So the first question I want to start with Fia and N. What first inspired you to create content in the Virgin Islands?
Sales, marketing, trying to keep the lights on, trying to keep the brand growing, keep the brand flowing, keep the brand going. That's
So
what.
talk about the business and the aspect and how did you flow into social media and bring all that together?
When we go to the movies, Coca-Cola still have a commercial letting us know that they sell this red can. Um, I feel like what making me different, like why wouldn't I, create a formula to keep reminding people? Because it's one thing that people want to shop, but it's like it's not a need, it's a want. So you just have to keep just reminding people,
Okay, same question to you.
I wanted to create a platform that would bring, I guess, lesser known brands, for lack of a better word, lesser known people of the Virgin Islands and put them on the national spotlight. Because too often I think we focus on people who already have a following and already have the clout and we bring them on to bring up ourselves. But I wanted to showcase, just mainly regular people with something to say. Business owners, local entrepreneurs and artists and stuff like that. And I wanted to be that platform they could come on and show it to others. Because I remember coming up, when you start out, you can't really get on those bigger platforms.
Mhm.
So I kind of wanted to create something that they could come on and showcase.
So basically using your influence to influence others.
Correct.
That's good. I appreciate that. Irene, same question to you.
This was like a long time ago. For me, I just started because I just wanted to be more comfortable with being me publicly, and not really worry about what anybody else had to say and inspire others to do so. Along the way, I realized that I'm a lot more comfortable than I thought being me, and it's fun. Um, but then it became something where I just wanted people to know that through my content, outside of just the music and the fun, that they're not alone, like mental health wise, emotionally, spiritually, with all the things that we go through. So I wanted to just display what I go through on a day-to-day basis, nothing extra, just what I'm doing to say, hey, I'm here with you.
It's okay to be extra. Like I think,
I'm
I
extra all by myself.
no, because the only reason I say that is I think there's this thing in the VA where we view somebody as being extra as like poppy showing, right? And sometimes that kind of pigeonhole us and hold us back. Now I get we don't want somebody to be really overly, but I think sometimes we have this thing where we want to limit somebody's ability to express themselves. So I don't think extra is wrong. I just think the way that we view it is it comes from a place that, is not really healthy per se. But I want to switch to the next question, right? What was the first time, whether it be a post, whatever something that you did, that you really feel like I could do this? It could be an event, it could be a post, it could be whatever that was. What was the first time you said I could really do this?
I I think for me, because I do so many things between like in entertainment aspect, singing, modeling, whatever I'm doing. I think there was so many firsts
Mm-hmm.
that once I put it out there and I received some type of like good feedback, that people were inspired. It's like, oh my God, Irene, I want to do that, or wow, that's so cool. I do that too. That's when I'm realizing like you're on the right path. So it's been many firsts for me. And whenever I do something, I put it out there for the first time, like naturally, I'm scared when I'm doing something for the first time. I'm nervous, but I use that to kind of catapult me to a place where it brings out the passion. And once I do that, I usually get good feedback for the most part. And yeah, those for the most part are my first, many firsts.
Okay, let me pass on to you.
I think the very first interview that went well, because I think there are a lot of podcasters, but there aren't a lot of good podcasters. You know what I'm saying? And I think often we confuse popular with good. And especially when it comes to interviews, like I can watch an interview and be like, man, that was a good interview. Or you can watch, or you'll see a podcast with a lot of views, and you watch the interview and they ain't talking about nothing. So when I had that first interview, and I was like, that boy good. That boy's good. Like, I wasn't waiting for nobody to tell me. I just knew when I watched it back, I was like, oh, man. And then you cut in clips and stuff, so I'm editing and watching it again. Like, oh, well done, sir.
You remember who that person that you interviewed?
I think so. I remember one was Alexander Emmanuel, and I really went back to like some stuff where he first started, because I don't think we understand that. Like when it comes to influencers, there were influencers before the camera came.
Yeah, exactly.
And he really was one of them. So I went way back to like him dancing ballet in school. You know what I'm saying? And he was impressed. And when I watched it, I was impressed, and it flowed so well. I was like, yeah, man. That's
All
what's
right.
up.
So same question to you, Felix. What was the first time you felt like, yeah, I could really do this?
Could really do this as far as I'm talking about like being a influencer, because I still don't feel like I'm an influencer. And
I think you're
we're gonna cross that bridge.
You must say that real for real. Oh my god.
No, we're gonna cross that bridge.
No, honestly, I think like what John was saying is like the influence starts even before you go on social media.
But it's just I feel like this is like part of my job. Like when it hit me that I need to do this is,
You don't think you've influenced people to buy the shotgun?
do I think I
To do anything
influence
at that
people?
point.
Partner with the shotgun?
But in the shot, does he influence us all? Because we believe you do, and all you do.
So I need to fully understand the definition of this word. You know what I mean? But what first made me feel like I could do this is rent, WAPA. You know what I mean? Like I gotta keep the lights on. That's what.
But
Yeah, man,
this aspect, how many times businesses have failed because they refuse to do that? So you use that influence to your advantage.
And you do it well.
I'm gonna put me on because I is Mr. Deluso. I live in a whole different world.
No, I think what it is with you is that you are centered in your ambition of making profit to benefit you. You know. So that's where his focal point is.
It's not facts.
So I guess okay. So for influence, right?
Yeah.
I think the word,
Yeah.
I didn't like the word social media influencer, but I guess that's because when I think social media influencer before, I was thinking of, hey, you guys, I can't believe this food is amazing. You should try the avocado toast. But you can also influence people to do good. Influence ain't nothing but marketing, advertising, promotion. That's where you can agree that you're really good at that.
But that's what it is for me, because if that's the case, everybody is an influencer. Like my mother influenced me. You know what I mean? Like everybody that influence.
I think influencer, like John was saying, could be good or bad. But how effective are you? Because we're not having this conversation if you're not effective. You are very effective.
Influencers.
Of course.
So everybody that have a business is an influencer.
But it doesn't mean you could you could have very little influence. I think you have a lot of influence.
To have influence.
So everybody have influence. Some people just have a little. Some people have a lot.
You have a lot.
You have a lot.
We're just gonna say that you have a lot.
You have a lot.
If you
So everybody has influence.
Yes, but
Everybody has the potential to influence. It's just there's various degrees of influence.
Oh, okay.
But I think you are very influential.
Cool. I think I'm an artist. and I have
Artist is very influential.
my artistry to help me pay my bills.
You're multifaceted because you got your business for your shirts.
Yeah.
You have your music. You're creative. You show the process in which you create.
Yeah,
You involve a lot of people. You collaborate. That is massive
Yeah,
on influencing.
Okay. I just don't like the title, man.
Okay.
It's a SMI.
What's that?
That sounds like a disease now. Social media influencer. I ain't a SMI.
Okay, so if we were to drop the social media and just be influencer,
You
that would work?
part of the
But
work.
that's the thing is, I could cuss on it. No, I still thinking that's like a bad chick. Like, you know, when you tell me, cause when it'd be like I flying in these influencers for carnival, it'd be a heap of like half naked girl that'd come down here and hold signs up and, you know what I mean? So it's like when you telling me I an influencer, it'd be like me and she is the same thing. You know, it's not like,
Well,
check it.
I think that there's various levels of influence, right?
Of course.
So, like you mentioned, like your mother, right? Your mother has a level of, like our brothers have a level of influence for us, right? And we, in turn, take that influence and try to use whatever they taught us, and then we integrate things like, in your case, business. In Irene's case, her artistry, her photography, her modeling, as a podcaster, and so much more. We take that, right, because we have the vision, right? A lot of people can't do what we're doing, right? Or they're even scared to start, right? But like for me to you, the thing that I think that you're most influential is just your style, right? You're just being yourself, even as the lowest of keys, right? But you literally you're one of the top brands in the Virgin Islands. Like you have people of various ages wearing your shirts, right? And then also like in terms of the artist space, what you do creatively is top notch.
It is.
In comparison to others who trying to do the same thing like you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and I see it, that they may copy elements of what you do and integrate it to them. So that's where the influence comes from.
That's a good thing. And he's not.
You may not see it, but we see it.
And he's outside of the box. Yeah.
So like the handle, man. That's it.
Yeah.
What you could name it however you want.
Just partner with a shirt.
Partner with a shirt. I ain't going in my bio, social media influencer.
So let me move on to the next question, right?
In my bio.
I think we all have grown up in a Virgin Islands. How did that shape the kind of content that you create?
I mean, I am the Virgin Islands, so I don't have a choice but to have it. I mean, when I design with Virgin Island influence. When I do anything, I am the Virgin Islands. Like I like Johnny Cake and fry fish, like for real. So it's just natural. I don't have a choice.
Our content is geared towards Virgin Islands, even though I don't even live in the Virgin Islands anymore. I live in Georgia, but the content I make is based off of where my heart is. And that's always going to be where my heart is because, like, I could be doing stuff in Georgia, but that's not what I want. You know what I'm saying? I want to showcase my people in Georgia, not the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's just, this is where my heart is, my home is, my belly is. I want other people to see this too.
Yeah, that fried pot fish is amazing. Right, let me pass on a question to you, Irene.
Repeat the question for me.
So how did growing up in the Virgin Islands shape the kind of content you make?
So I think we talked about this a little bit before. So I was actually born in Brooklyn with my family rooted in the Virgin Islands and New York. And I came down when I was 12. So for me, really learning about my roots, my culture, especially being in the States where I have family, close family, like my sister who doesn't understand that she's Black.
That is a thing.
It is a thing. I remember when she was maybe going into something here, but has a lot of meaning. I remember when she saw my social media, she was like, "Girl, you look like a Black girl." I was like, "I am. We are Black, Lisa." Like, no offense, Lisa, I love you. You know, but she was born in the Bronx, so a lot of people in the States don't recognize where they truly come from and the culture because it's been washed down. And I've had the blessing to be able to be born in Brooklyn and see what it is to be an American. And then be home and learn your roots and learn what we've been through and where we come from and what we represent. So for me, at the end of the day, I'm still a Brooklyn girl, but I'm a Virgin Islander as well. And so I'm very proud of both of those aspects, but I try to, you see some of my content, you see me going to different events and highlighting the vibes, the people, the food, the families, the community. That's really important, to just feel like I'm home, but to also share home with other people that aren't. A lot of the times when I share the content, you'll be like, oh my God, you're making me want to come back home. Like, just enjoying the beach, like, different foods here and stuff like that locally. So yeah, I think that's it.
So I have another question, right? So let's talk about more on the content and less on the social media, right? Because we're all content creators. I want to start with y'all first. What challenges did you face early on that people don't normally see behind the scenes?
One of the biggest challenges that people have not seen is the fact that I get very anxious. You know what I'm saying? From the first time I recorded, I just decided to go. And if you watch any of our older stuff, I used to always have a drink, right? And the drink wasn't a gimmick. The drink was to calm my nerves. So a lot of people don't see the anxiety. Of course, Nisi has seen it in, all its glory or ingloriousness. But yeah, that was one of my biggest things. I'm actually an introvert. People assume that because I have a podcast, I'm a talker. I just like to hear myself talk. No, I I talk when there's something to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's something that piques my interest or my mind, we'll talk about it. But other than that, I did it because I want people to have something to say to come on the show and do it. That's why I don't just get on and go live. I have a topic. So I think that's what it is. When people see me out and I'm not talking, it's strange to them. Are you okay?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know that feeling so well.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So it's like basically that thing where people think that your public persona and your private persona is the same.
Yes. I've had people say, I thought you were taller. They've said that to me a lot.
I mean, to wow.
No, it's true. It's fine. They've said that to me a lot, right? And they explain it as your social media persona is so big. I expected you to be taller, and I'm not like short.
That's crazy.
But like you're expecting a 7-foot giant, then because on top and line. Okay.
That's crazy. Because
what's the funniest thing? I have the opposite, right? They'll be like, "Oh wow, I didn't know that you're really that tall."
Darren, you pretty muscly, man.
I got 3 cubs. So yeah, so I get that part. So let me. Oh, you were saying something?
No, it's so good to talk about this stuff and feel other people that go through similar things. When people, I haven't had it happen recently, maybe because I'm being a little bit more social and going out there. But whenever people see me, they're like, "You're much taller than I thought you would be." Yeah. And then when I'm like, I'm from West, they're like, "But you look like you live in Christian set," and I'm like, because I'm like skin and I speak from like, it's just annoying, like. I'm always hearing that.
East Girl's different.
I guess I move like a East Girl, but in West, I just like West Girl.
Don't you grow up East?
Don't even start with me, dude. Don't start with me. Okay, we're not doing this.
Okay, so West, she cleared West. All right, that's fine. Jesus. There's no one you hit say if I'm stop playing. I'm joking.
Sorry.
So, Fee, same question to you. What challenges did you face that most people don't know when you are creating content?
I actually enjoy it, to be honest with you. I don't really challenges is people showing up on time, I guess.
That's one. That's a big one.
People saying they're gonna do something and not doing it. Like
I can tell you how much times
yeah
into that.
Yeah, that's like the challenges.
But what about the technical side, right? Because I know you've posted like those like these creative like scenes where you did photography promoting your brand, right? What was those kind of challenges? Like I know we're on the technical side of the podcast, we have like multiple cameras and like just even as the slightest of things shifts our whole thing. What was your challenges when it came to that?
The only challenges I really have per se, like I said, like I enjoy creating. Outside of what I to do is like dealing with other parties involved. That's like a challenge. Like not being on the same page with like the other parties involved. But as far as a challenge, like I know to me, I had to look at it like a job and I had to come to work. So I don't expect everything to go the way it's supposed to go.
So I gonna bounce back another question to that, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I think we all probably have been there at one point, right?
Uh-huh.
Was there a time that you thought about giving up, and what made you keep going?
You probably think about giving up like once a day.
Yeah.
But what it make you keep going is like understanding like you actually have like a purpose. Like you actually like it's bigger than just like you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like people actually you actually have influence on others. You know what I mean? So yeah, is the program is bigger than me at this point. So it's like giving up ain't really like an option. This is the way to do and this is that's what it's gonna be. You know?
Let me ask the same question to you.
I'm there right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm there right now. But there's people like Nishi and like Book of Comedy you may not see, and that I get pep talks from, and they recharge me. Or sometimes I take social media breaks because this is something people don't see behind the scenes. Also, like when you constantly are interacting with people, for me, it's draining. Like it starts to weigh on my mental a bit. But these are online interactions, and I know that. So sometimes I gotta tell myself, like, you're debating a tiny person that lives on an app on your phone. Not because I think that I'm better than them in no way, shape, or form. It's just like some people, this is just what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Trolling,
some people
basically.
will troll you, some people will, like, I had somebody say, oh, why it is you got against such and such? Is it because Kamala lost after everything we said? That's what you came up with?
You know,
That's what you went with.
yeah, and I think that's the most interesting thing. Like you would say all this thing and it pinpoint one part of it and never acknowledge the whole thing.
Everything else. And like a lot of it can be, aside from time consuming, because people also assume that everything you do, they see the easy part, they see the finished product, they don't see how long it takes. That like you just kind of doing stuff. That's not how it works.
It's a lot.
Same question to you as well.
I think I'm in the same space. Well, no pun intended. That Ja is. I don't know what he's going through personally, but dealing with mental health and those breaks. Like at one point I took a social media break and came back seeing the world very differently. Dealing with people and then going out in public and always being pulled on in some aspect. It's almost as if they forget that you're human.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so you have to remind yourself that you're human. You have to give yourself grace. You got to pull back. For me personally, I'm trying to find the balance. I need to sit down and like say these months I'm going to take a break and then I'm going to go hard. I don't have people in my corner that do influencing that I'm very close to. And so that can be hearing you guys talk about that and hearing you guys getting pep talks and stuff is interesting. I need to connect to people because I don't have that. And so people really don't understand what it is to put myself out there on stage or come up to a podcast like this or whatever it may be. And it could be really taxing, but breaks are really important. And every time I feel like my spirit is getting a little heavy, that's when I'm like, all right, baby, take a little break. But you also got to get to a point where you still have to show up and you still have to do the work. So it's really about creating balance. But I've definitely, like he said, once a day, more than once a day for me, boss. Like there's been times I'm just like, do I need to do this?
Yeah.
Should I keep going? Maybe you should just stop entirely. But then back to the purpose thing. I believe with all my heart that God has given me a purpose. And while I'm thinking the worst of myself, there's somebody literally wishing and hoping that I can keep going because I'm keeping them alive in some aspect in their mind, like even if it's just the smallest thing. So that's what keeps me pushing.
Those social media breaks can be tempting too, because like I literally have to set a date when I'll come back because
Don't want to come back.
I be like I could just not.
I've been there.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's what I'm saying. It is important to have somebody or somebody's in your corner because like I told Book, I don't know if I even want. What are you talking about, man?
Right.
You? Yeah.
So let me actually explain.
This is like no thing like breaks. That's why I feel like I can't think. I mean, we call it a social media influence.
We're gonna find a word that's
Yeah, that's like because I
You don't have to define how.
can't relate. Like
Are you a
I cannot take a break from social media. Like I have
You are a
to.
content
It's
creator.
part of my job for sure. But just saying that's like part of my job. I did do it because I can't afford somebody gonna do it as good as me. And the day I could afford somebody who's gonna do it as good as me, I'm not doing it ever
But I think
again.
it's because you're good with monetizing
Yeah,
and creating business for that, and
yeah,
it's so entangled together. So if you stop, your finances stop, your this stops.
exactly.
Like
So it's a job.
I don't know, but yeah, I ain't got to the point where I'm being paid for this. Like
No, no, it's a job. It's
As we brought it up, I wanted to bring this question before we close out this part one. I know that monetizing is an issue in the Virgin Islands, right? I know you know this for a fact that in some of these social media platforms, we can't even monetize it in the Virgin Islands as compared to the United States, right? And I know that's like we all know creating content takes time,
yeah,
it takes money, it takes resources, like you said, bringing people together to do that, right? If you have to advocate to because we have to include them to the USVI government, right? How can we end this, make sure that we have a paywall so that content creators could be, one, compensated for their work through these platforms, and two, if we gain this additional revenue, why not be able to tax from it? How would you advocate for
I
that?
mean,
we just
which ones we can,
overtax.
which ones we can't get paid from?
I think right now, Facebook for sure.
I get paid from Facebook.
You don't get
But
paid
you
for it?
know, I don't think
Yeah.
well, I talk to influencers in the States, and I won't call their names out here, but basically, they were doing work for years. They decided to move back home, and they basically expressed to me how difficult it is because they don't even get half of what they used to make because now they're located in the Virgin Islands. So when you go to the States, it's definitely a lot more. Um, I don't think we make much.
I wouldn't know,
Yeah.
honestly. I don't have a comparison. I only get paid in the Virgin Islands, so I don't know what it
From the actual platform or because of what you do?
No, from the
So you
actual
get paid from my understanding,
Yeah.
right? My understanding, you do get paid, but again, it's just not what it is in the States. It's coins. So they literally had to stop and say we're going back because it's just this was their bread and butter.
Because
I
I've
mean, they
seen
could just
in
get a
other
VPN on the phone, no?
No, because I've seen it other where people. I don't know if it's different because you probably were creative for a longer time, but people now that if they say hey Facebook whatever, it would literally tell you it's not available for your region.
Hey, man.
Half the time we have to
Every day you gotta figure it out.
conversation.
But I would say like just our last question before we wrap up. What would you say to our public officials to see if we can make that happen? Because maybe they have this view say, oh, these kids play around social media. That ain't no real job.
Officials?
That's public
I
officials.
don't study public officials in no way, shape, or form. They need to figure out stuff themselves. I just study on DPMNM and Felix London. Like they can't help me at all. Yeah.
Basically, for me, I'll say to everyone, support the people that you know, like you support the people that you don't.
Mm.
Because if you could share Beyonce and all these strangers, why wouldn't you support the people that look like you and live where you live? That's not just to public officials, that's to everyone. Because one thing I have learned, obviously it's not everyone's experience, but when you start coming out as a content creator, it's usually not the people you've went to school with and you know now in your life that is your biggest supporters. It's usually strangers.
Mhm.
It is.
And I think that goes into with public officials also, because I don't even know why it is, but there's so many, like, not even macro like me, like micro like me. There's big influencers, there's big names getting all the support in the States, but then they don't get billboards here. You don't see them in the commercials and stuff.
That's a problem.
Again, I'm not going to name no names, but
Yeah.
there's a lot, and I don't understand why that is. Like, if you have a department that specializes in this, why wouldn't the face you want be from here doing big things?
Mm-hmm. And finish off with you, sorry.
I feel like they took all the words out my mouth. I don't know. I feel like when it comes to not all, because I know people within leadership within the Virgin Islands, but as a whole, that last episode we had when I was here was crabs in a barrel and all this stuff. But I think that sometimes we don't know any better, and having these conversations kind of open that door to be like, oh, that's an issue, because they're just most of them are just saying, okay, they're just doing whatever, they get in the content. I know people that they do content and they literally talk about people, like trash them,
Mm-hmm.
and they will literally comment and hype people up in a negative way, and they get paid for it very well. And so why can't we back home do that here? I think that people don't understand that this is even an issue. How many conversations have we ever had like this period. This is probably one of the first that's been exposed to the public
You
where it's like,
understand is
we're
like,
not getting paid.
so,
In comparison to the States, it's even, not to get off script, but when it comes to being an artist and being paid for on the radio because of a radio station, you don't get paid for that. You know, people are missing out on being paid every time your record, your track is played. And that is the same problem that we're having with social media content and stuff.
And then we're going to do a part two to this. We still have so much more to talk about. So stay tuned. That Electric 40. We'll be right back.